Hi, I'm Lazze and I'm teaching people in metal shaping. This is another video from the step 2 class. So you can see that it's two of them here now, 32 3-window cubes. I think I have three more classes lined up, but after the step 2 class or step 2 classes, I had time and I have spent time to working on parts, putting them together, fine tuning, tweaking a little bit here and a little bit there. In the class, we formed as much as we could in the step 2 class for the parts. But once you start putting all the parts together and left and right side, it's time consuming. So you need to measure from one side and then go over to the other side and measure that. So you got that. So you're working from side to side. And we could do that in the class if we had more days. If it was another week, we probably can get lots of more done. And maybe in the future, that is something that I can do. But for now, I have spent time to do this. So everything is lining up pretty good. I'm happy with the result. I just like, and it makes me happy to see what we can do from flat sheet metal. It's really fun. I mean, this is a dream for me, because when I was growing up, you couldn't 18 years old and older, you couldn't find 30s cars in Sweden, and if you find one or import one from the United States, it would be so expensive. So I couldn't do it, and now be able to do it from flat sheet metal and be able to teach that, so other people and maybe you in the future can come to the class and do this. That is so fun. And I know that it is an investment in yourself, but it's knowledge that you can use for the rest of your life. So everything is tucked in. The roof skin, we didn't have time to do that in the class. And I'm here by myself, and of course I can call a student sometimes and have them come in and help me. But I would like to be able to do the roof skin by myself. So I find out that sometimes the student do a door skin for the 33, 34 Ford in the step 1 class for the practice of it. And sometimes they don't wheel up that all the way up. Maybe we're missing a 5/16 or a little more, 3/8 of an inch on the convex shape. And they learned a lesson from doing the door skin and rolling it to people in the class. But I took 2 of those door skins that people left here in my shop, and I cut off on one and cut off on the other one. So they actually meeting like that, and I can use them. So I tack weld them together with a TIG welder, and then I can weld the whole thing on the table, and I can grind both sides, and then I can hammer and dolly it, maybe wheel it a little bit, and I can use that and I can trim that in so it fits the roof. So the lesson for you to learn is that if you can't do it in one large piece, you maybe can do it in 2 smaller pieces, and you can weld that together, and you can work on the weld and grind and hammer and dolly that and make that smooth, and then you have one piece to put in on the car. So in this case, I think I'm going to cut most of it out, because I'm going to make an opening, and I'm going to make special dies for the bead roller to be able to do the bead opening for the cloth. So for the opening, it's a special bead that goes around this opening. And so in this case, I maybe need to weld just a few inches on the sides, and that's all I need. One more thing that I'm going to show you. So let me go after one piece. So I like the 32 without the flare, but it would be fun to have something that is a little different, but it's so small modification, so it's hard to see. So what I did here was that I made a separate piece like a flare. So on top here, it's going to probably come out almost an inch. And then it's fading out to nothing in the front and nothing in the back. So when you look at the car from behind, this is going to be a 3/4 to an inch wider here. And I think I just like the look of it. So I'm probably going to do it on one of those bodies that you see. We have the other one here. So I would like to keep one for stock and then the other one with a flare and just see the difference. I'm planning to build one without fenders, like a highboy, and the other one with full fenders, like a late 40s or 40s style. I like all of them, so we will see. But it's fun to be able to do even that flare. I tried to do it with the rear quarter panel up to here, with the bead and everything, but it was so tricky. I could do this part here, but the problem I had was the transition down to this bead here, because it's fading out to nothing there. And that's where I had the problem. And the same thing in the back, because I'm dealing with the rest of the panel to get that in. So it actually easier, I think, at least for me, to make the body, make the rear quarter panels and everything like that, make those separate, and then clamp them on, compare left and right side so they are symmetrical, and do modifications, adjust it, and so on, and then weld them in before I weld the rear in the fender on. So, but when you build it from scratch, you can do modifications as you want. If you come up with something else that is different, then you can do that. It's also good to, in this case, because I have two of those bodies, I can compare those two, and you can see the difference between them. The average person wouldn't see that, but when you have two of them, then you can compare those two and you can see the difference. Here is a different view from the side and a little from the back behind it, and you can see the flare. It really helps to put a wheel there so you can see what it's actually going to look like before you cut the rear quarter panel in and weld it in. I have done the same flare on my 32.5 window coupe. That is a stock body from the beginning, an original Henry Ford body, and I made the flare on it there, and it came out really nice. I'm really happy with it. So this would be a thing that you could actually put on a Model A. So if you made a fender flare for a Model A 5-window coupe, that's going to change the look of a Model A. The Model A looked little square on the sides, a little flat on the sides, but to make a flare on a Model A, I think that will look really, really nice. So it was a few small things here that might help you to when you're building your stuff at home. If you want more information, more videos, subscribe. And if you want more information about my Step 1 and Step 2 classes, you can go to www.lazzemetalshaping.com. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.